And just like that, you're back on another episode of the Soundcheck podcast. This is one of your co-hosts speaking. This is Adam Yokum. Um, Sadly, we are not joined by my other co-host Dylan Reese today. He wasn't able to make it, but luckily we are joined by a special guest, Jared Tadlock. He is a man of many titles, I would say videographer, photographer, um, general winner, another general winner. The guy just goes after it. He gets it. One of my good buddies filmed pretty much every music video of mine that you guys have seen from the last couple years. Came on tour with us, all these things. Yeah, I'm going to let him say what's up. But Jared, thanks for being here, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. And excited to get this thing rolling, man. And excited to chat a little bit. Uh, Shout out to Dylan. God bless you over there in California. I hope the sunshine is treating you well. But yeah, I'm excited to chop it up and chat with you today, man.
Yes, sir. Of course. Of course. I guess there's a lot of ways that we could take the convo, a lot of stuff that we could a lot of stuff that we could talk about. Um I want to ask you a couple questions about like photography and videography in your line of work. Obviously, like, I know you well as a friend, and so I'm not trying to make it like a Jared what's it, biography or whatever, you know what I mean? Don't want to
Right,
hit
I
you
got
with
the
the
script. I got the script ready to go, dude.
I got the script. I got it all
I
in
a
front of
part
me.
dude, a part of my job is talking and yelling at people,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can do that as long as we need, dude. I can start yelling if we have to and start
Yeah.
giving the whole spiel.
Yeah. What do you think is, and I guess if there's other parts of your job that you would like to, maybe if I misrepresented it in your intro, feel
Yeah.
free to say like this is what I do, but what do you feel like is your favorite part of the job when it comes to the video work that you do? Photo work,
Man,
any of it.
so I like as a creative, I don't know, I get bored with something pretty easily. And so for myself, I always like kind of switch up and change what I'm doing. And I think like over the years, it's kind of benefited me because like some like one year I'll be really excited about doing video work and kind of lean more into video. And then after I do that for a while, I get a little bored and I lean back into photo. And then I'll get a little bored with that and kind of lean into design work and more like mixed media. But, like, my career, dude, I started off just doing photo. This was I'm, like, older. I've been doing this for, like, a long time, dude. I've been my own, like, photo business has been going on for, like, 13 years at this point, and so when I started, like, actually, like, doing, like, photography, this was before the idea of, like, the content creator existed. Um this was, like, early on when a lotta nowadays, you have these, like, mirrorless cameras that do, like, really high quality video and high quality photo, and when I started, it was, like, not really there yet. You still had these, like, video specific cameras and these photo specific cameras, and so, like, when I came up, the camera that I had was, like, primarily photo specific, and so that's always kinda like my background. It's like my comfort spot because what
Yeah.
I started up with. But yeah, I kind of got into like the video stuff purely just out of like again, like out of boredom, dude. I was shooting photos for a college football team, and then I was like, oh, this really expensive camera I have has the ability to record video. I just watched the Last Chance U on Netflix. The first season came out, and I was like, "Oh, this stuff looks really cool. It's, like, really cinematic about football. What if I tried to make my own version that ended up being like" it looked so bad, but, it was,
Yeah.
like, kinda like the little kickstart for me to, like, get into the video stuff. And so, like, I don't know, talking about my, like, line of work, I would say it's kinda, like, just in the middle of the creative space, man. It's photo, I like to do video, I like to do design, and then when I can, like, screen print, all that kinda fun stuff, paint
Yeah.
some when I get time,
Yeah, you have been known
all
to
over.
a good painting, dude. I've seen you hit the canvas a couple times and it's really
I
nice.
gotta thank you, I gotta find more time to hit the canvas, dude. That's
Yeah.
every year that comes by, I tell myself, "We're hitting canvas," and, I always get a little too distracted, but hoping to do
It's
it this year.
It's peaceful, dude. I've never been, like, good at painting. I don't think I've ever painted something and been like, "Wow, that looks amazing." But every time after I do paint something, I'm like, "That was fun. It was relaxing," you know?
Yeah, and so, like, I think this, not to get, like, too, like, philosophical, like, right off the bat, but, like, I think it's really important to have a creative practice in your life that you're not monetizing, and that you are not, like, it's not a part of your business plan to get good at it, you know?
Mm,
Like, for me, I've made the mistake of, like, monetizing everything that I do, and for me, it's like in painting, I don't. I've sold a couple paintings, but it's been a while. And so it's really, I think it's like meditative to have like a practice where it's not about the expectation of the finished piece. Cause like when it comes to photo for me, I know what vision I have in my head, and I have like enough time with the camera that I know if I've like actually enacted it or if I've missed the mark. And so
yeah,
because of that expectation, it also like can taint my view of like, oh, this is like a good productive day or a not a productive day. And I know it's the same for you with like recording music. You're at the point where it's like I know what I'm going for, and so I have like this criteria. And if you don't hit that criteria, you're like, well, it's kind of like a waste of a studio session. Dude, when you have like a painting, if you're doing like some kind of creative practice, the for like a lack of a better term, you don't have that experience and that like criteria to judge yourself. Dude, it's just full creative expression. It's just full, like, it's cathartic. It's just being there, like, with your thoughts, with the medium, and just, like, I think it's just fun, dude. It's fun. And, yeah, I don't know. I think it's like I need to get back to the canvas, or at least I need to, like, embody that idea of, like, creating without, like, some, like, preconceived notion of what the outcome is. I think anyone who's in creative should find, like, some kind of, like, practice like that where you can just make, you can just kinda tap into that, like, instinctual desire to make things.
yeah, I totally agree. I know, like, I try to get away from that with music because because I've learn the business. Like, when I first started making music, I couldn't even do that because I didn't know, like, music business was kind of like, what is that? But now it's like, I know that X amount of streams equals X amount of dollars, and this song streamed this, and how much money did we spend to do it, da 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 da. And it's like, when you pull all that away, it's like, I just started making music because I love doing it, because it's fun to me, because it pulls out a side of me that, like, makes me feel alive. And yeah, if you go too far down that hole of, like, the business and how much money are we gonna make off this album or how much money are we gonna make off this song, it kind of makes it harder to sit there and just, like, enjoy what you started it for. I feel like I oftentimes, and I've gotten better about it, but oftentimes have to remind myself, like, to find that inner child excitement about things, you know what I mean? And just look at it through the lens of a beginner. Um,
Yeah,
that
there's something pure when you're, like, first starting off where you're just, like, and that's, I don't know, that's something that I think about a lot because, like, another one of my jobs I have now is, like, teaching, and it's working with students. And I think the more, like, what you're kinda touching on is this idea is, like, the more time you spend with something, the magic kinda wears off. Once
yeah,
you kinda, like, see behind the veil. And so there's like a pure, you need to find that, like, be able to tap into that, like, that initial spark that you had. Like, even like with social media, it's like a big thing because you can game the system. Like, you can game any creative field, and, like, I think you kinda have to learn that, but then you still have to be like, "Okay, like, the magic behind this might be gone, but how can I still, like, revert back to, like, that initial thing
yeah,
that sparked my interest?" And I think it's easier too if you start whatever you started in your creative field, if you started it without the idea that you're gonna become, like, rich off of it. And I would say anyone who's, like, successful in the creative field didn't start because they wanted to be rich,
yeah,
you just started because you have, like, that passion, and that's what you gotta, like,
yeah,
lean back into.
yeah, I
And
feel like
it's
most
tough to tell people that too, because everyone's like, "Well, I just wanna I see all these other people being successful, I wanna do that."
yeah,
But I was, like, fortunate enough that when I started, I had no idea when I started doing photos and, like, posting them online, I didn't know that you could even have, like, first time I got booked for a photo shoot, I was like, "I didn't even know this was an option, dude." I was just doing this because I loved, like, taking the photos, you know?
yeah. Yeah, you gotta be able to, like, it's something that you do have to, like, care about, but you have to have the ability to switch it off because it's like you can't just be clueless to the business and just be like go 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 because that also makes it like impossible to make a living off of it. So you gotta I feel like you either have to one be able to switch it off. Like you gotta have a business brain and then be able to be like, all right, now I stop thinking about that and I think about it this way. Or you have to have the wits to like, like in my case, like have a manager, have a booking agent, like take a little bit of that weight off of you where it's like, yeah, I still think about the business and I still know about it, but now I have some help to like conquer it and maybe it's not such a big burden on my brain, you know? So definitely major key to, I don't know, find a separation from that. And
Yeah,
I
I
feel
think I
like
think like you're go ahead. I'm talking over you.
no, you're good, brother. You're good. I was gonna say, I feel like there's also a point where like you get so successful, and I could be wrong about this because I don't think I've hit this level of success yet, so I'm just guessing. But I think it's possible to hit a level of success and wealth where you actually like tilt back over and come back to the not caring about the business because you've already done it all. You have your money, you have your house, everything's good, and now there's like nothing to lose and like not, there's nothing to gain. It's like well, now that I have all this money and all this success, like, I'm actually just gonna make whatever I want because it doesn't matter anymore, you know? I don't know, there's a stage where people are like trying to become successful where it's I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. It could also be the case that as long as business scales, the stress of it all scales on you as well. It's probably more so the case, but
I would like to believe what you're saying is right because I want to get to that point where I'm like, "Nah, we're cool." But I know part of me is like, dude, I know myself. I know my way that I handle like stress and anxiety. And I feel like as business scales, problems scale with it. But
yeah.
no, I think there is. Yeah, I think I think it's more like a switching your mindset to be like grateful for the opportunity and like the space that you're in. I think can help you kind of get to that point where you're like a little more grounded.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's see. That kind of sparks a question for me here. I guess when it comes to video, I'm gonna put you in a scenario here, okay? I'm gonna put you in a just really get in the mindset here. Yeah, allow yourself to see the scene. You have
paint the
unli
picture, paint the mental picture for us.
You have unlimited resources. You have unlimited
Yes.
camera equipment, you have unlimited travel expenses, you have access to any actors you want. What does Jared Tadlock film or create or capture? What is your like in a perfect world, this is what I would like to be doing?
Perfect world, what would I be doing? What if money was no option? I just like to tell stories, man. That's what I like to do with my camera. I like to tell stories. I like to capture emotions. And so if money was no option, it would be continuing. I think it would still be doing the same thing I'm doing now, just at like a larger scale. It would be finding people whose work that I enjoy, who has a story that I feel like is worth sharing with people, and just finding ways to work together, man, and finding ways to like elevate those voices. I have a ton of fun. I love creating social media content. I love creating stuff that is shareable and that has like that can impact others. I think it's the same for a lot of people that are in like the creative field. But yeah, if like money was no option, I think I'd still just want to keep doing what I'm doing now, which is making stuff that I'm proud of with people that I genuinely like,
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If money was no option, then yeah, I would continue to be selective and continue to just make stuff that I'm like actually excited about.
Yeah,
It's
that's a
kind of I don't
beautiful
know, is
thing.
that a good answer? It's kind of like a
Uh,
BS answer.
no, 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 it's a good answer. It's a good answer. I'm more so maybe I phrased the question wrong. I thought you were gonna say something like, "I'd go film a nature documentary in New Zealand or something."
I'd
I
go
don't know.
birding. I'd go hit a big year and make a doc.
Oh,
No, like
dude.
I do want to make a documentary. I've got a couple different ideas that are like bouncing around that I'd like to get done sometime. I would say, I don't know if I have like a goal, maybe before I'm 40, I would like to try and make like a feature length doc.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it would be of, but I love documentary filmmaking. I love run and gun filmmaking. Um, and so I'd love to make something like in that vein. Exactly what the story would be, I do not know. But I just know like I documentary film I've loved for, like my entire life.
Yeah. Dude,
Either
I'm
that or
really
I'd make
happy.
another Transformers movie. I'd make like Transformers 15 and just make the robots even bigger this time, you know?
Yeah, I'd make Transformers, but bigger.
Yeah, I would have Batman fight Iron Man actually. Yeah,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
what I'd do.
Yeah. I'd have, like, a Spider-Man, but if he had Iron Man's suit and if he had Doctor Strange's abilities, and then I'd
Yeah,
have him fight all the Transformers.
I'd put Transformer in Star Wars movie. That's what I'd do.
Jeez, that is funny. What was I gonna say? I feel like I had something to say, but I lost it. You really caught me off guard with that Transformers statement there.
That's just
Oh,
it's in my mind, dude.
I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say thank you for showing me that Lister's doc, dude. Oh my god, what a gem. We've talked about it on the podcast before in a couple episodes. It's came up. Um, I shared that podcast with a handful of people and everyone has been like, this is the shit. So, yeah, thanks for
I
putting me
was like
onto that.
20 minutes into it and I said, Adam Yokum's gonna love this. I paused it. I texted you. I said, you need to watch this like as soon as you can.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, yeah. But again, it's like that's the power of like documentary film, man, is you don't need money behind it. All you need is like excitement. You needed an idea and a willingness to like sleep in your car,
Yep.
And that those kids had it, dude. They had
They
all
did.
that and so much more.
They really did have it. Um, I wanted to ask you about your fashion game.
Fashion game.
I see you
I
on TikTok ripping the fit checks. Look at you dripped out even right now. I love the TikTok morning coffee and we get the fit
Yeah, yeah.
checks.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the best. Those
I
are the best.
appreciate that.
Where do you get your style from? What
Brother, I've always I'm super tall, and because of that, I've never fit nor like, I have a tough time finding clothes, and so growing up, I never, like, had the option of just like, "I'll just go to the store and just go buy clothes." Like, I always had to put some kind of thought behind it, and I think that probably was the catalyst behind me in, like, being selective with my clothes, but I've been thrifting for the last, like, I don't know, 20 years of my life. I'm like 30, I think I'm 33 now. Yeah, I've been thrifting since I was in high school. And so I've always just been like interested in like secondhand and used clothes. And I don't know, I have a ton of fun like putting outfits together and like the hunt of finding new pieces. I don't like hunt, I don't fish. And so for me, like going thrifting is that same experience. Like I'm going to the racks, dude. It's just like I'm going to the blinds. Like I don't know what's gonna stumble across, but
Yeah.
buddy, I'm gonna be ready to bag it, you know? And
Yeah.
so it's like it's that same experience of like I'm just gonna be optimistic and I'm gonna go to the spot. And if it's my day, it's my day. Most of the time it's not, but it's better than not going out and doing that. And so for me, yeah, I've just been like thrifting for so long. And the fit check things, so that's it's part of and there's like a multifaceted thing with that. One part is, I'm trying to kill the cringe within me. I I wanted to approach TikTok in 2026 and like this is we talk about like killing the magic behind social media. I've reverse engineered and like killed the magic behind social media for myself for many years now. And TikTok is one that I wanted to have a better understanding of like the algorithm and see how consistency works within like certain niches. And so for myself, I said, okay, I want to try and build this audience, and I think consistency is key. Finding like a consistent pattern, something that's replicable, replicable, what, something I can repeat,
Replicable,
right?
yeah.
Replicable. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, all right, well, I always I take a fit pic every single morning. So I have an archive on my phone. So then when I'm like getting dressed, I'll just be like swiping through and see what I was wearing a couple months ago. Cause I have I have way too many clothes. I have like way too many. At one point I had like over 100 black vintage graphic t-shirts. And so
Said
I use these photos as like, okay, I can put this with that. And so I was like, all right, I'm already doing these photos. What if we just start doing a little morning thing? And instead of me just doing like a full talking to the camera, I was like, that feels like super cringy to me. How can I ease into this? And I was like, I make a coffee every single morning. Why don't we use this like this habit, this pattern to like work on creating that like iPhone native content. You know, recording stuff off of, and again, this sounds so boring because it's like I'm my brain won't even let me just like make like a stupid TikTok. I'm like, well, what about the analytics of this and how it, UGC is taking over the algorithm.
yeah.
But for me, like specifically, I've like wanted to do more stuff with editing on my phone. I think finding being better in tune with like the rhythm and pacing of a video is something that I wanted to practice more often. And so I was like, all right, well, I can understand algorithm trends a little bit better. I can slowly build an audience and I can just give myself a morning practice session on how to get a good paced video, man. Cause when it comes to like video editing, pacing is everything. And it's one of those things that you can't like read a book and be like, oh yeah, the pacing of this works because you do X, Y, and Z. You have to be able to just like develop that sense of like rhythm and understanding of music. And so yeah, for me it's a multiple different factors. One, I like clothes. Two, I want to be better at social media. And three, it's just like a little exercise and developing my sense of pacing and rhythm in a video edit.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I've tried to do that for myself in a lot of ways, but I just seem to fall out of like routine with it. And I think
It's tough, man. Yeah.
yeah, it is really tough. And I've heard that on TikTok. I've heard that the TikTok like code is just consistency. Like people were like, when I posted once a month, nothing ever happened, but I posted every day for 6 months and then things started happening. So that's definitely something that's been on my mind as well and just trying to do it in a way without getting burnt out. I feel like I get burnt out on things easily. Like sometimes I'll catch a spark on something like that and I'll stick with it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I don't know what, I'll just be like, I can't even stand the thought of, like, going there and doing that again," you know? And maybe it's because 'cause I'm not seeing, like, immediate results or something like that, and I just gotta really be down for the climb for something like that, but, um, yeah, that's really interesting. I like that it's also just, like, um kinda like a morning routine or like a practice. It doesn't feel like you have to go out of your way too far to make that happen, which is probably
Yeah.
helping you do that a lot.
And that's where I think the key. I think there's 2 different, like, ways to approach social media. There's the putting up numbers, just, like, getting consistent, getting going, and my philosophy with that is and some of the people that I've done, like, consulting with is my what I tell them is find a low effort repeatable piece of content that
Yeah,
you can get done. Because if you're doing something where it's like I'm setting up lights and I'm doing at different locations, I'm gonna do that for like 3 days tops, and then I'm gonna be like, "This isn't worth it." But
right.
if I can, like, identify, like, "Hey, I think this kinda works with, like, who I am as a person. I don't feel like it's, like, super cringy, but it's easy, it's low effort," then I think you're gonna be more inclined to do that. Because social media, like, there is no answer for success. The algorithm changes every single day, but my whole thing is, like, either find something that's, like, easy and repeatable, or make sure that if you're being more, like, selective and limited about what you put out, just make sure whatever you have out there is, like, the highest quality of it. Because all you're doing when you're posting stuff on social media, dude, I'm going back to the fishing metaphor, dude. Dude, you're throwing a line out. And so the more content you put out, the more pieces of bait that you might be able to bring in, like, a new audience, you know? So
For a guy
you either gotta spam it, dude, or you gotta put, like, a really fancy lure out, like, every other week, you know?
yeah. For a guy who
I'm gonna
doesn't hunt
spam,
or
dude, I'm
fish or
spamming.
anything,
Yeah.
you're really, really making the hunting and fishing metaphors, brother. We might have to get you out there.
A deer would hate to see me coming, dude.
That's good stuff.
Lord
Yeah,
knows I
it
got the
is.
camo for it, dude. I'd have the sickest vintage
Oh
camo
my god,
Carhartt
dude.
on.
Yeah, we definitely have the camo for it. We got too much camo. They wouldn't
Too
see us
much,
coming
dude.
for a mile away.
Nah, man, that's
Um,
why I got the truck.
yeah.
So much
Yeah.
camouflage, you thought I was on a hunt.
Yeah, got so much camouflage, you thought I'm on a hunt. Yeah, yeah. Classic
Yeah, yeah.
bar. Yeah, yeah. Classic AY
Classic.
bar about a
Big
truck.
time.
I
AY.
remember I remember I sent that song to you after I made it as a demo, and your text back was just like, "Hell yeah, truck bars," or something like
Truck
that.
talk, dude. Truck talk.
Yeah, truck
Absolutely.
truck talk, I'm in.
Yeah.
God, I miss my truck, dude. I miss my truck. It's cool being a truck guy.
Yeah, it's except for now, gas is so expensive,
Yeah,
dude.
except for right
I'm
now, it's not
dying.
that it's
I'm
not that
dying,
cool.
dude.
It's not
I was
that cool.
walking by the new Prius in the parking lot today, and I was like, you know what?
It was looking pretty.
It was looking pretty, dude. I might
Yeah.
have to whip the little body Prius one of these days.
Yeah, dude, we just drove Pat's car all the way to Gatlinburg and back, and it was like 1 tank of gas. Yeah, it was like if I would've taken my truck there, I think it would've been 5 or 6 tanks of gas,
Yeah,
maybe,
it's not it's
maybe
a I
4.
mean, it's cool to back into a parking spot, and kinda, like, head nod all the other bros, but outside when you're at, like, the fill up, dude, getting a full tank's not good, not good.
Yeah, you back into a spot and, like, head nod at the bros, but when you're at the gas pump, you're like, "Don't make eye contact with me," just head down
Yeah,
at the ground, get in and get out. I can't be seen
it's
here like
tough, it's
this.
tough, it's tough.
Yeah. Speaking of the social media game of just, like, shooting a bunch of shots and, like, a numbers game and trying to get it to go, what's your opinion on, like I've heard a lot of people that work in photo and video say that, like, vertical content is the death of cinema, and a lot of people that are very, like, "If it's not widescreen, like, I don't want it." Do you have a stance on that or not really?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, well, it's alright though. Got a little pup in the back barking.
He's fired up about vertical video, dude. He's very anti.
Is
No,
that
I mean,
is
here's
that Max?
that's Big Max, yeah,
Yeah.
Big Max. He thinks the FedEx is coming back again.
Aw,
He's the sole defender of our house against, various, delivery, individuals.
he would tear
Very
someone up.
brave of him. Yeah,
Yeah,
brave of him. No, so I mean, again, I'm like, I'm Unc, dude. I've been and vertical video's not it's pretty, like, pretty recent. It's pretty recent stuff. Like,
yeah,
I remember, I'd say from the last 6 years is when people started going, "Oh, I need to, like, actually twist my camera sideways," you know?
yeah,
And so I my brain still thinks like horizontal video, but I mean, you got to be in anything creative, you have to be able to adapt. And
yeah,
so for me, um, personally, I think all the apps are still the trend is to show like vertical video. And I have just kind of like give it in. I think you can tell a better story horizontal. You get to see more of the frame. There's more like a visual that you can do with it. But I don't like even when I post like horizontal photos, I don't like the aesthetics of how it like fits on the screen of the phone. I think
yeah,
it's more beautiful when it's the full screen.
yeah,
And so I don't know. I've tried all different types of stuff where I do horizontal, but then I expand the video behind it and blur it out so it still fits the whole frame. But
mhm,
I think for now, man, in terms of just like, because what you're trying to do is capture somebody's attention, and you have to take up the most real estate you can on the device. And so I stay with vertical video. Um, not because it does well, like, for me necessarily, but I just think as, like, a tool to catch someone's eye and to be able because when you make something I in, like, Instagram talk, when you make an Instagram reel and you post it vertically, it's gonna show up in 2 places, which it could potentially show up under the reels section, and it could show up in feed. Whereas, like, if you take that idea and because you can post, like, horizontals in Instagram, but if you put them like a regular post, I don't think they're gonna be as, likely to be seen on someone, like, on their reels
yeah,
page.
I
Every
don't think
now
it
and then.
shows up. I don't yeah, I agree, I
I've
don't
seen a
think it
couple
shows up in my reels.
carousels I've seen a couple
Yeah,
carousels pop up randomly, but I don't know why those do.
yeah,
So that's my thing. Like I think horizontal looks better. For now, horizontal is what I watch my TV on. It's what I watch movies on, and so I think it has a more cinematic look. And I do think vertical video feels cheaper. But who am I to argue, man? I don't pull any of the levers, and I don't make any of the shots. I'm just
yeah.
just trying my best, man.
I feel you. I agree. I agree the same. It's like I definitely think that the horizontal video just feels better from like a cinema. You're capturing more the look of it. It would be cool if like, cause yeah, like on Instagram when you see a horizontal video, it's just on like a little window on like a third of your screen. It would be cool if there was like a reels section or something where you could scroll but hold your phone horizontally almost and get like full picture or
Yeah.
horizontal scrolling or something. I'm not too sure what it is there, but yeah, and I see a lot of people that do the like it's a vertical video, but at the start it'll be like, please turn your phone sideways so that,
Oh,
you know.
I Well, I see that and I wanna please throw my phone, dude. That pisses me off so much. I get so
Does it?
mad at that. I don't have time. You think I have time to rotate my phone just to watch some nonsense wedding recap? No, dude.
Yeah, right,
I
buddy.
wasn't
How about I
invited to the wedding. I'm not gonna turn my phone to watch 7 seconds of it on my Reels tab.
Yeah, I wasn't even invited. Why would you
Oh,
invite me to
cool.
this
Your
reel?
dog carried the ring up the center aisle. How original. I'm not rotating it, buddy.
Yeah, right, buddy. You can't get me to rotate. I
I'm
don't
gonna
care.
report this video is what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do.
I don't care how many times you AI your dog into this video.
Mm. No, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Rotate my phone. Don't tell me what to First off, don't tell me what to do. This is my phone, my house. I pay the electric bill.
Yeah, I pay the phone bill. Don't tell me where to
Yeah.
put my phone.
Well, dude, how about I turn it the other way, idiot?
Yeah, look at it upside down, loser.
Yeah,
That'll
there you
show
go.
'em. Man, let's see, what else would I like to talk to you about? Oh, I got a
Hit me.
good one for you. I got a good one
Cool.
for you. You're not ready
Yes,
for
sir.
this.
Oh, no.
If our roles were reversed and you were the music artist, which I have seen you tear up a guitar before. You actually are nice at some music. So I'm not even saying like in some world where you're a music artist, but if music was what you were going after, what do you think a Jared Tadlock album would sound like?
I have always been drawn to, like, whiny folk, like, emo, music, and so I think I would find something like the music that I like to do, like, finger picking on the guitar on, like, acoustic, and, it's like it's older, like Iron and Wine, Noah Gunderson, City and Color kinda stuff. That's the music that I listened to when I was in college in, like, 2011, 2012, and I was like, "This stuff's incredible," and that's what made me pick up a guitar for the first time, is a bunch of this, like, older indie. I don't know the exact genre. It's like singer-songwriter. It's not really around anymore. Like, Noah Gunderson's still making music, but his stuff is, like, a lot more, like, pop produced. But he had a couple albums, like, early on that were just so stripped down. It's just one person with a guitar, really no production, and that's the stuff that I love, man. There's an album from City and Color. I think it's Bring Me Your Love. I believe the album's Bring Me Your Love, and it's the deluxe edition, and so it has, like, an A side and a B side, and the B side is all the demos to his music, and it is just him, and I don't know what he's recording. I was about to say he was recording on his iPhone, the mic, but, like a notes app, they didn't have those back then, but, it's, like, really stripped down and super, super raw, and so if um, I have, like, a couple little songs that I've been, like, tinkering on for a couple different years, and I have a couple different melodies I'm still trying to find, like, the right chorus for and whatnot. Whenever I watch TV, like I watch basketball, I just grab a guitar and just start picking on it. But
Yeah.
I think if I made music, it would be in the vein of like whiny white man. who's just singing about his woes because I love that music so much, dude. I
Yeah,
love that stuff so much.
you can't beat it, dude. You can't
What
beat
would
it.
you do if you were like not in the lane that you're I mean, because you've already bounced around. You went bars to like the in between like the evergreen stuff has some more like the pop influence, but then you have like the Giants Fall, which is like pretty heavy like guitar, and now you're kind of swinging back. What if you weren't in this area? What would you go for? I guess you've already kind of you when you look at the last like 2 years, you've made stuff that does kind of branch out a lot. So that might be a bad
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I've made a couple different, some like folk songs, some like country leaning. We just dropped like a dance
Yeah.
remix. Um yeah, the old stuff is way more like rap heavy. It has kind of already been over the place. I think if I could go somewhere else, which I may actually go there, it would be two places. One would either be like a very specific lane of R&B that's like not quite the like sexual R&B, not like the let me get you hot and sweaty R&B, but more
Hey
so like
yo.
but more so like the Daniel Caesar R&B
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just like some weird shit that kind of makes you think, but it's like I really love his stuff. I could see myself making some very like spacey sounding stuff like that in the future. Also, I am destined one day, I don't have it in me to do it anytime soon, but I am destined to make a bluegrass album that's like full on just like raw bluegrass. The banjos, stand-up bass, the the all of it, the fiddle, the mandolin. I want to go all in on making a bluegrass album. So those are probably the two ways that I would go if I wasn't just making the stuff I am right now. Probably two ways I will go, but who knows over the next decade or
It,
something.
bring them both together. Why not?
That's a great idea. What if I
R&B,
just
bluegrass. Dude.
also I could trash it all and just go metal.
Yeah, you could, dude.
Metal is actually kind of sick.
I've been listening to more and more hardcore like throughout this like last couple years, and I think it's like it ties into like my anxiety and stress that I have. There's like something very cathartic about listening to someone scream.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, something
It
about it,
doesn't
dude.
it doesn't do that for me. I feel like I need to listen to it when I'm looking for the opposite. When I'm like down and I'm at the gym and I need like a whoa, like let's go.
Let's go. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like
get
it kinda
fired
like
up.
yeah, it kinda fires me up, it, like, spikes my body. I don't know if it I don't think I think if I listen to that during anxiety or something, it might make it worse for me, but kudos to you. That's that's interesting. Um, dude, what's on the horizon for you in 2026? You have anything that you're excited, working on that maybe share to some listeners? Who knows? Maybe someone out there is listening and has some way to contribute to what you have going on.
Yeah, so continuing to work with some artists, making like visuals on some music that I am very excited about. I got a couple guys in the country space that I've been working with and hoping to just, continue to do more like tour coverage and more photos. One of the big things is by the time this episode comes out, I'll probably like made an announcement, but I'm going to be moving to Nashville, Tennessee this summer. And so really looking forward to, a little bit of a change of scenery and continuing to just kind of dive into the music world and creative, whether it's like photo, whether it's video, social content, creative direction, all that kind of stuff. But that's kind of the big thing, man. That's kind of the big thing is just, the last couple years, I've been enjoying the work and the ability because I love shooting portraits and I love making videos. I love making photos. And with music, there's always a reason why you need to make a video. And so it's like there's just a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of musicians always need like portraits, and so I love portrait sessions, but outside of music it's like, well, why does someone need a portrait session? Well, it's like for couples photos and stuff, and things that I don't really do, and so I love getting a chance to like use those skills in music, and so that's kind of the main things that I have going on, man. Gonna be moving and, yeah, hoping to continue to keep working with people who, I get along with and make good music, man. I've been super fortunate that I haven't had anyone that I've, worked with that I've had to be like, "Yeah, man, sounds great, keep it up." Like, I'm fans of the people I get to work with, man, and I get to help them share their vision, their project, and then I get to listen to it in Spotify, and I'm very very grateful for those opportunities, very very grateful. So
Yeah.
that's kind of it, man. That's
No,
kind of
it's
the big
awesome.
big thing, dude.
Yeah, that's great, dude. I'm excited to see how Nashville goes for you because I really feel like you're gonna flourish there, dude. I mean,
It's gonna change me, dude. I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm throwing all my hats away. We're going 10 gallons. I'm going Spurs. I seriously, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm very
yeah.
excited.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you're just you're a good dude. You're super talented. You're, approachable, easy in conversation. I feel like that checks all the boxes of like you're gonna go to Nashville and you're just gonna, make connections. You're gonna keep doing good work, and I feel like it's gonna be really, really good for you. I'm stoked for that. For anyone who
Yeah, I
doesn't know,
appreciate that.
listening, Jared currently lives in West Virginia, and that's kind of how we know each other. Um, I mean, I guess definitely how we know each other, but there's not a ton of, like, opportunity here when it comes to probably photo, video in the music world, and just in general, there's not a big, like, music scene here like that. I mean, there's a lot of talented artists here, but, like, labels and things happening in Nashville, obviously more going on there, so, yeah, dude, I feel like with your skill set and just who you are, it's gonna be a really, really good move for you.
I appreciate that, man. I really,
Yeah.
really do, and it'll be fun. I'm excited to have you come down and visit as often as you can, man.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
down
Oh, I'm
there
gonna
and
pop down there. Also, even outside of the work, even outside of all the work, I feel like just living in Nashville is gonna be enjoyable, dude. A lot of good food down there, a lot of good
Mhm.
thrifting, like concerts, people coming there to play shows all the time. I feel like just overall quality of life is gonna be a nice change of pace.
I'm also sick of the snow, dude. I grew up in the mountains in Colorado. I'm low key sick of the snow, and so
Snow's a
I
bummer.
want a warmer climate. I want to have more days to spend outside.
Yeah.
I think we'll get that down there, but
Yeah, the winters here get a little depressing. Do you get that? Do you get the, like, seasonal downturn in emotions? Like
yeah, it definitely doesn't make me feel better when it's like, dude, this winter was so brutal too, man. It was like we had so much snow. Certainly didn't help whatever I had
No,
going on.
yeah, no, yeah, after this winter, you're like, "We gotta get at it." If we were
Nah, I'm
thinking about
out.
getting out of here,
I'm
now
out.
we gotta
Yeah,
get out of here. Dude, yeah, there were, like, 3 weeks in January that my pipes were frozen in my house, no water or anything, which luckily
that's crazy. Yeah,
I was on tour for, like, 2 weeks of that, but I got home from tour, and for the first week of being home, I was, like, showering at the YMCA, like, I couldn't, like, wash my dishes, it's like,
it's a
God.
grind, dude.
Yeah, 'cause I just wanted to be in Florida or something, be in some warm weather.
Yeah. No, I am like super affected by weather. I'm looking out the window right now, and it's like actually warm today. I think I'm gonna like go spend the rest of the night out on my deck just to like absorb the sun, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. You been getting any hooping in, as of late?
Yeah, so my men's league ended, and so I haven't, dude. I haven't, unfortunately. Just kind of getting ready, like finishing up the school year, and I've been doing a bunch of like little house stuff, like prepping around the house, getting ready to list this next month. But I do need to get back. I need to get back in the gym, get my mind right, dude, get some jump shots up.
I gotta get my grind set right.
Yeah. I gotta just keep that form going, dude. This
Brother,
that
you
muscle
got it.
memory.
When we were shooting the, what was it, the Right Here, Right Now video where
Yeah.
we were out at the court, God, the behind the scenes for that were terrible, and then you got the ball and you're like, "Yeah, let me show you this." Dunked on my ass out there.
That video cracks me up, dude.
Yeah,
That
that
one
video
cracks
is
me up.
hilarious. That was a fun video to shoot, dude. We've had a
That
lot
was
of
good.
we've had a lot of really fun ones. I think the Water Your Roots video might always take the cake for me. I mean, we've had a lot of fun ones, but something about us putting that camera in that plastic container and diving around in the lake.
That was I could go for that day again, dude. Just it was so warm, the water was, like, perfect out there, man.
Yeah,
That was a top tier day, man.
it was a good day. That's a good way to
Good one.
frame that. I could go for that day again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, um, I guess we don't have to ramble on too much. Um, there's one more question about
Yeah.
film stuff that I've heard you talk about before that I didn't know if maybe you wanted to dive into a little bit more, and then we'll wrap this thing up. But I just wanted to hear if you had anything to add. I've kind of heard you talk about like having a trained eye and seeing the subtle differences in what can kind of make footage good or bad. Maybe good or bad isn't even the right way to frame it, but I know that you've said like, "Oh, I can see that this was shot in 60 FPS or whatever," and um yeah, I don't know. I didn't know if you wanted to touch on that about like, maybe these are some of the things that you prefer when you see footage or um I don't know. Maybe there's someone listening that's trying to film some content of their own or whatever, gain something from it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have that like, I have a camera where I like set up tripod and film and I don't know shit about that. Like I just kind of I look at the thing, I'm like, "Okay, it looks good." Hit record and kind of run with it. And I feel like maybe there's a lot of other people that are in my same position and maybe they'll hear you talking about something and learn something from it. I feel like I will as well. So yeah, I'll give you the
Yeah, yeah.
floor on that.
Yeah, so to, like, start things off, like, obviously good and bad is, like, subjective and what people look for. For myself, I distinctly remember it was 11 years ago, and I was trying to shoot a video. We were in Iceland, and my buddy Garrett who's like a very incredible filmmaker and photographer, good friend of mine. He was asking me about the settings that I had, and I was like, "Brother, I'm hitting the red button to record. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?" And so he was talking about, well, like the refresh rate of the lights and then the frame rate of the video. You have to like match this, and then also the 180-degree shutter rule. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. I just hit record and it looks sick. And so I think that is like a natural progression is when you start, you might not notice some of those like subtle like nuances and those little distinct elements tells in a video. And so for myself, I am because I'm a huge movie guy. I've, watched way too many movies in my life. And so all of the stuff that I do is always like very inspired by like classic cinema. Within like the principles of cinematography, there are a couple different rules that I I think are there for a reason and visually they just like mesh with what we're used to seeing. And so for myself, like I record everything at 24 frames a second, which is, considered like the cinematic look. It has like a little bit of motion blur. And so like everything that I record is going to be at 24 frames a second. And then I use the 180-degree shutter rule, which means that whatever your frames per second is, your shutter when you record, it's just going to be double that. And so that creates that blend of you get like nice motion blur and you can get away with like holding the camera by hand and things aren't too jittery. Um, there are some cameras allow you to record in these like higher frame rates. And I personally, my eye catches it when I see things that are recorded in 60 frames a second versus 24. And the reason why I like to use 24 is because all of the movies that well, with the exception of like Ang Lee is this director who did like Life of Pi and this one movie with Will Smith. I can't think of the name of it. He records in these like crazy frame rates, like I think like 120 in one of them. Then he recorded another movie at like 48 frames a second. And when you watch the footage, if you're listening to this and you're like, yo, shut up, old man, you don't know what you're talking about, go to YouTube and search 24 frame rate versus 60 versus 120 explained. And there are great videos that'll show you and they'll say, well, this is what something at 24 frames looks like. This is something at 60. And I think it's easier to see when you have that context For me, I feel you're gonna get the most visually appealing look, and that means it's gonna be closer to, like, what our eyes naturally see when you record stuff at 24 frames, when you follow that 180-degree shutter rule. And then, if you need to record something in slow-mo, be intentional and record it at a higher frame rate, and then when you wanna record something that's gonna play back in real time, then switch that frame rate back down to, like, a 24 frames a second. And again, there's no right and wrong. A lot of people shoot 60 frames a second for everything. You can play 60 frames back in slow mo and in real time. They do that a lot in sports videography because then when you're recording, you can like make a clip go to slow mo if you're like recording a game instead of having to run like two different cameras. But personally, I think when you do that, that it kind of like if the footage, the if excuse me, if the subject matter isn't like really fast moving, you can it creates a look that once you notice it, you're not gonna be able to, like, not think about it kinda thing.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm just like, I don't know, I'm like a classic guy. I do it because all the movies that I watch, I mean, the majority of movies that are out are gonna be shot at 24 frames a second, with the exception of, like, some action sequences, and so that's kinda just what I like to follow. And again, dude, if anyone's listening to this, and says otherwise, you're wrong. No, if you're listening to this, and if anyone has like questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm sure like my Instagram's Tadlock. Shoot me a DM. I try and reply to as much stuff as I can. And that's what I think. Like, yeah, if you guys have questions or whatever, just let me know. That's what I do. It's what I think works for me. At the same time, I recognize that like other people have like differing opinions on it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, if you disagree with him, you can meet him in the Little Caesars parking lot and run the ones.
we're running fade at the seas, dude.
Yeah. That was all a lot of good info, dude. I'm happy I
Yeah.
asked you about that because I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna even apply it to my camera stuff. I need to go in and look at some of my settings that I have it at because I've noticed, yeah, it feels like depending on the scenario, sometimes the footage that I get, it like looks really good, and then other times it's like, why does this look so weird? I think if I just
Hmm.
understood a little bit more about like the scenario I'm in and exactly how to tweak those settings, I think it would help a lot.
And
So
that's what's nice about that 180-degree shutter rule is that it automatically my dog's still tweaking. It automatically sets your shutter like it's gonna be at this number, you don't have to worry about changing it. And so it
yeah,
takes one of those things out of the equation for you where you don't have to do any guesswork. You go, "Oh, I'm shooting at 24 frames. My shutter is gonna be 1/50th of a second. Now all I have to do is think about like the ISO and the aperture."
yeah, nice,
Yeah,
love it,
man.
dude. Thanks for sharing that. All right,
Yeah.
brother. Well, I enjoyed this convo. I feel like maybe we can wrap it up here unless you have Um, anything you wanna add or anything you wanna share?
No, I just thank you for having me on, man. Like you mentioned, we've been working together for like 3 years, and, yeah, dude, it's I always am grateful for any chance that I get to work on a project with you, and, yeah, super proud to see your growth and your trajectory, man. It's been fun to witness and to be part of it. So, thanks for having me on to
Thank you, bro.
chat, and, yeah.
Thank you, dude. Likewise, I've really enjoyed working with you, over the years. We've got a big one coming up, the Water Your Roots album cover, you shot that. Oh, there he is. Is that
This is
she,
Millie, this
she,
is
yeah,
Millie.
yeah, yeah,
She
that's
just came
Millie.
running across the table. She knew that it was about to be time to wrap up.
Yeah, Millie's a sweetheart, and Max is always wearing a shirt, right?
Yeah, Max is shirted up because he's way too, he gets too fired up when he has no shirt.
Yeah,
The
he
shirt
loves his
kinda, like,
shirt.
makes him a little docile.
Um, but yeah, dude, you shot the cover art for Water Your Roots and a bunch of the other ones and the Evergreen cover art. Yeah, a bunch of stuff. Jared has pretty much done all my visuals. So yeah, dude, thank you for working with me. And I can remember the first time I talked to you on the phone, I was living in Pittsburgh. It was in the middle of me making the Evergreen album, and I was like, "Yo, I'd like to go do a shoot in West Virginia." And I can remember telling you like I've got a good feeling that this project is gonna be big for me. Like, I don't have much going on right now, but I've got a really good feeling about this. And it's just cool seeing like 3 years pass by, all the videos we've done, like the friends that me and you, I feel like we've grown as friends since just randomly connecting on a phone call and just a lot of special stuff. I'm really grateful for you as well. So, thank you, brother. And yeah, hope your move to Nashville goes well. I'm sure everything will be smooth there. If you're listening and you're in Nashville, hit up Tadlock, get some work in with the goat. And yeah, brother, appreciate you being on here.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Peace. This has been the Soundcheck Podcast.